This video is sponsored by Grow Therapy. There is no way in hell, heaven, or earth a random unemployed man-child would be able to maneuver his way into one of the county's most prestigious prep schools as a substitute teacher. You've lost your goddamn mind. And on top of that, spending weeks jamming out in the classroom. So nobody hear this? Y'all don't hear this noise up in here? No, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Put it back on the shelf. School of Rock is a 2003 comedy directed by Richard Linklater and written by Mike White. It was during my research that I found out that Mike White made The White Lotus. I was like, oh, wow, good for him. I still have not seen that show. It is on my radar. I'm not a big TV show person, but I do want to watch that. That's like one of my favorite genres. I love rich people being fucking stupid. Also found out that he's part of the Community. Bisexual king. Good for him. The film stars Jack Black alongside White with Joan Cusack and Sarah Silverman. On a $35 million budget, the film grossed $131.3 million worldwide. Rightfully so. It was the highest grossing music-themed comedy of all time until 11 years later when Pitch Perfect 2 released. A childhood favorite of mine. I really do not have much to say for this intro. This is probably the shortest intro I've ever done. And I don't care because we ain't got time for all that yapping. It's time to rock! Before we get into this week's film, allow me to tell you about today's sponsor, Grow Therapy. If you're part of the family, you guys know how serious I take mental health. It's my sign off. Take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your spirit. And what's a good way to do that? By getting your butt in therapy. Grow works with over 125 insurance plans, with sessions averaging around $21, with some people paying as little as $0, depending on the type of plan they have. You can filter therapists by their identity, by their gender, language, faith. It's very customizable. Not to mention, these guys have over 25,000 licensed therapists. You can choose between doing a virtual appointment or an in-person appointment. Therapy for everyone. But above all, these guys run on a pay per session model. You are not locked into a commitment. You are not locked into a subscription. And we live in the era of the streaming, the million streaming services. Every company wants to, pull the old okey doke, but we don't have that here. So to learn more about Grow Therapy, click the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen for a quicker way to get support and find a therapist. The film opens with us sweeping through a rock and roll bar with the main credits woven into the environment. Richard Linklater, Jack Black on the poster, the School of Rock title card as an LED light. I love when films do this. There are so many people in this bar who are not paying attention to the performers on stage, and we are definitely playing into that. In my opinion, they never did, and they still don't. They don't sound bad to me. The guitarist is our protagonist, Dewey Finn. The lead vocalist is Theo, on bass is Neil, and on the drums is Doug. Dewey is up here doing the most on stage, being so animated to the point that it's kind of comical. He's all over the ground, hopping around, and goes on this long guitar solo just as we see a guy in the crowd messaging a friend, "These guys suck booty hole, let's bounce." I don't know, maybe, bro was on coke, maybe he was just a little too turned. But Dewey decides to snatch off his shirt and dive into the crowd. Nobody catches him, girl. The next characters we meet are Ned and Patty. They are a couple who live with Dewey inside of his apartment. The apartment is in his name. And one thing about Patty, she cannot stand his ass. She thinks Dewey is a freeloader and she wants her boo to cut him off. Mind you, as I said, this apartment is in Dewey's name, but Patty and Ned pay the rent. It's implied for years and years Dewey has been, just sucking the life out of his friend. And they are all 30 years old. Dewey's just 30 years old trying to make that rock band, dream come true. Right on. Ned really is a hardcore pushover. It's quite sad to watch. Patty forces Ned to ask Dewey what's going on with the rent he owes, and Dewey is months behind, specifically $2,200, and with inflation, that is over $3,800 today. Dewey's telling his rent payers that his band, which is called No Vacancy, are about to hit it big time and win the prize of Battle of the Bands. So when this pimp is rolling in Benjamins, Daddy's gonna throw Ned and his dog a bone. Disrespectful. We learn Patty works as an assistant to the mayor of the city as she flexes her credentials for this lowlife. Dewey's like, can you please get her out of here? Why? Why her? Why? Now, as far as Ned's career, he's a substitute teacher, or in Dewey's eyes, a temp. Again, just disrespectful, dude. Dewey calls subbing easy, and Ned says, well, if you think it's so easy, I'd like to see you try. You wouldn't last a day. Patty scorns Ned, trying to get him to kick Dew out if he doesn't come up with his past rent, and Ned tells the homie he's not paying his way anymore. So, like, sell one of your guitars or something.
Dude, I've been mooching off you for years, and it's never been a problem until she showed up. Just dump her, man.
Jesus fucking Christ, this is so unhealthy. If you have somebody like this in your life, I don't care how far back y'all go, kindergarten, high school, the womb, even if it's a twin, your twin brother, sibling, I don't care. Snip, snip, ho, cut that bitch off. It gets to a point. Ned is begging Dewey so hard to get a job. He's like, come on, please come up with some money. I may never get a girlfriend again. Dewey rolls up to practice, and a new guitarist named Spider, who looks like punk rock Ashton Kutcher, is in his spot.
What's up, dog?
Theo lets our protagonist know that everybody in this bitch voted for him to kick rocks, and Spider's the replacement. What's so trifling here is that Dewey was the one who got everybody in this band together. It's crazy, right? You know, not only did he got, like I said, he got this band together, he knew all of them, he gathered them around at home with Ned and Patty, the apartment. Yeah, sure, he doesn't pay rent, but the apartment is in his name, you know, like, damn. Not defending him. I'm just saying. But yeah, when Theo says, you know, you out, he's like, oh, y'all got me f***ed up in here.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay.
They complain about his animated behavior on stage, long guitar solos, the stage dives, etc. No Vacancy is trying to land a record deal here, and Dewey is an embarrassment. They want to take the Battle of Bands seriously this year. Read between the lines, Theo. Read between the lines. They were gonna tell him last night after the gig, but unfortunately, Dewey got a little too turned. He accepts this pretty quickly, though, I must say. You know, he's telling these ding-dongs that they all forgot about one thing, and it's called the music. You know what? I don't care. I don't want to hang out with a bunch of wannabe corporate sellouts. So the OG guitarist is gonna form his own band, and they're gonna be a revolution. And you're gonna be a funny little footnote on my epic ass. Dewey tries to sell his 1968 Gibson guitar on the phone, saying Jimi Hendrix played this, but he's got no success. The phone rings shortly again, and we hear the voice of a woman ask for Mr. Schneebly, as in Ned Schneebly. This is Rosalie Mullins, the principal at Horace Green Prep, and we've got a little situation on our hands, my friends. Rosalie is calling for everybody's favorite temp, substitute teacher, because one of their teachers slipped and fell this morning. Dewey starts asking her questions such as, you know, how much is a nigga gonna get paid? And I don't know why she would disclose this information over the phone, because if I was Rosalie, I would have said, bitch, is he there or not? The job will last a few weeks, but it's unclear to say depending on the teacher's recovery. She says teachers get paid over $650 a week. Add inflation, that's about $1,100 weekly. His reaction when she says $650 a week is so fucking funny. But this is really some Nickelodeon, Disney Channel shenanigans type of behavior, because this, oh my god, this dude makes a bunch of noises over the phone pretending Ned just walked in.
Hello, this is Ned Schneebly.
Dewey rolls up in his beat up punk rock van to this prestigious prep school that is massive. Holy moly! I want to chop it up and make some guacamole. As soon as Rosalie comes in the room, all the kids run in their seats and straighten up their backs. She introduces Miss Dunham's substitute, telling homeboy to write his name on the board. He does not know how to spell his best friend's last name. What a shame. Damn, bro. You don't even, like, do you not look at the mail? You don't see his last name? You can't spell his last name? So he tells the kids to just call him Mr. S. In the original script, it was written that Dewey was supposed to run over Miss Dunham, but they decided to change it to her just falling in the shower. Right when she leaves, Dewey asks who's got food in here, and a girl raises her hand. This is Tamika. I think that's a bag of Cheetos in there and a bag of goldfish with a half turkey sub that she took one bite out of. Ned takes the turkey sub, hollering, That's what I'm talking about. This man doesn't know what the hell to do. He's really just winging it and keeps it real with these kids, telling them that, I've got a hangover. Nah. Since we've got a classroom full of kids, they are each introduced in little moments, mainly by having them raise their hand to a question or have Dewey call on them. And the first kids we meet are Frankie and Freddie. Dewey tells the churn they can just chill today and we'll start all this nonsense tomorrow. The most famous child in this room, Miranda Cosgrove, plays Summer, raising her hand saying, as the class factotum, girl the what, welcome to Horace Green. Then she asks Mr. S if he has any questions about their schedule. Oh, she gonna be a businesswoman. I know that's right. She starts breaking down the entire schedule Miss Dunham does every day, and he cuts her off saying, hey, Miss Dumbum ain't your teacher today. It's me. And I got a headache in the runs, so I say it's time for recess. Summer brings up the poster charts that have everybody's performance on it, where you get gold stars when you master the material covered. So how's Dewey gonna give gold stars if we just have recess? He approaches the chart asking what these black darts are, and a kid named Leonard says they're demerits. Demerits on the chart is crazy.
What kind of a sick school is this?
Mr. Schneebly said, as long as my white ass is here, there will be no grades, gold stars, or demerits. Recess all the time. When school's out, Dewey's going around town posting his rock band audition flyers, which are being laughed at by these two guys who say, oh dude, this guy sucks. And he overhears them. Poor guy. Ned and Patty are at the dinner table, just a little cute couple working together. Oh, that's good for you. And Dewey joins. Dewey pulls out an old pic of him and their old rock band, Maggot Death, that Ned Bigby used to be part of. By the way, the third member is the director, Richard Linklater. Dude's telling his homie, boy, you ain't no teacher. You're a cross-dressing, blood-sucking incubus from Maggot Death. That's the real you. Ned's like, Dewey, I'm not a satanic sex god anymore. I'm a working stiff. And that's cool. Patty yells at homeboy to get a job, and he says he does what Ned does. Temping. Ned is not a temp. He's a sub. And soon he'll be a certified teacher. Now, the prize of this Battle of the Bands gig that we keep hearing about is $20,000. And, $20,000 in 2003 is $35,000. That's quite a nice check for banging on some instruments. Dewey says we do one show and we split it 60-40. 60-40 is crazy. Nigga, you owe me rent. What does he talk about? Some damn 60? The fuck 64? If anybody's doing some 64, it's me 60, you 40. Player. Bigby tells Dewdrop maybe it's time to give up on those dreams. I did, and everything's working great for me, buddy. The next day at work, bro is, depressed. A girl named Michelle asks this loser if he's gonna teach them anything.
Just do whatever you want.
I want to learn from my teacher.
Besides that, go out and have recess.
Summer says my parents do not spend $15,000 a year for recess. Okay, one, why does she know how much her parents are paying for her private school? A child, that ain't your business. You should not know that. Two, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is like the fourth fucking conversion I've done so far. I don't even know how far we are into the video at this point, but I do these conversions to poke at the Federal Reserve and this ludicrous capitalistic society that we live in. I don't know what to tell you. In 2026, those parents would be paying around $26.5K just to send their child to this prep school. Imagine paying all that money and some random ass man is teaching your children rock and roll music. So he jumps up saying, okay, you want to learn something? You want to learn something? Give up. Just quit. Because in this life, you can't win. Telling these kids that the world is run by the man. He's in the White House, down the hall, Miss Mullins. She's the man. Going into a whole self-projecting monologue that the man's just gonna call you a fat, washed up loser and crush your soul, so just do yourself a favor and give up. Rosalie walks in on that last sentence, letting him know that the student should be in music class. While in the bathroom, he can hear the kids playing, following the noise all the way to the music room, where he catches his students playing the piano, going off on the guitar, cello, clarinet, etc. And he gets an idea. Dewey runs to his van, bringing in a collective instrument, setting them up for the kids' return, and asks why these gremlins didn't tell him they had musical talent. When you say School of Rock, I would say this is the scene that most people automatically go to, besides the Battle of the Bands performance, yeah. Dewey points to a kid named Zach, who he saw playing the guitar, and asks him to come to the front. Zach's only ever played acoustic because his father said electric was a waste of time. Dewey's about to crash out and tells homie to put this on and feel the magic, giving him a pick so he can pluck along. First song he teaches him is Iron Man by Black Sabbath. Boom, doom, 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 doom. And Zach successfully mimics him. Then he does Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. Jack's reaction when playing the notes on this one, it gets, every time I gotta do it with him. Boom, no, 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 no. Smoke on the water
and fire in the sky.
Finally, he does the guitar line for Highway to Hell, arguably one of the most famous rock songs of all time. I think I think that song has like 2.3 billion streams. That's bananas. Dewey calls up the piano man Lawrence, who similar to Zach has never played any techno version of his instrument. So Dewey pulls out a sheet for him and Lawrence plays Touch Me by the Doors. Lawrence is nasty on that piano, boy.
Come on, come on, come on, come on now, touch me, babe. Ba-da-ba-da, can't you see that I am not afraid? Shaka-ga-ga.
The next kid he pulls up is a girl named Katie, who he puts on bass, getting her to play a G note over and over. For the drums, he grabs Freddie, who prior only played percussion. So now everyone has a note to play and Dewey goes full-fledged. How the hell is nobody in the school hearing this? Well, they probably think it's just music class. They would probably assume it's another one of the music. I mean, he heard it while he was in the bathroom, so. Dewey finally introduces his new class project called Rock Band. A girl named Marta asks if this is a school project, and he says, yes, sis, and it's a requirement. When Dewey brings up a prize, a kid named Billy asks what it is. This joker lies right through his teeth saying it'll go on their permanent record, bringing up Harvard. Now, the kids aren't supposed to get started till next quarter, but Mr. Schneebly was thinking they should get a leg up on the competition. Everyone falls in line, but another rule is stated. If anybody finds out what they're doing, then they will be disqualified. So let's keep it on the down low. Frankie asks what the rest of them are supposed to do. And that indeed begs the question, because we can't, no homies left behind. Dude tells him, hold on now, just because you're not in the band don't mean you're not in the band. We need backup singers. Who can sing? Both Marta and a girl named Alicia raise their hand. Marta sings,
The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow.
Stop.
like, yes, girl, I hear you. I hear you. Healthy singing, okay? As far as Alicia, she sings,
Amazing grace, how sweet.
Summer, Po Summer
Oh, you're here for the summer?
raises her hand saying that she can sing. Look at this. Stop. Okay. Okay. God, you just fucking suck. Okay. When the kids return from lunch, Dewdrop will assign the rest of the band killer positions. AC/DC's Back in Black starts playing as all the kids are lined up and Dewey assigns the roles. Zach on guitar, Katie on bass, Lawrence on keyboard, Freddie on drums, Marta and Alicia singing backup. He gathers Frankie, Leonard, and Fancy Pants Billy to be security and make sure no one outside knows what they're doing. First mission is soundproofing the room.
Can I be the band stylist instead?
Of course you can, Fancy Pants.
Dewey tells Marco, Tamika, and Gordon they're gonna do sound. Amps, electric guitars, lasers, smoke machines. Lastly is Alani, Summer, and Michelle, who Dewey, why would you say this?
Groupies, and your job is simple. Just worship the band.
He wants them to make hats, t-shirts, all kind of merchandise, which leads to their first assignment, naming the band. As for Dewey, he'll be singing the lead vocal and shredding guitar. Alicia asks, isn't this, a student project? And Dewey makes them say a pledge of allegiance to Mr. Schneebly and pledge not to fight him for creative control. Babe, this is fascism. Another day, Dew pulls up to the school and Summer's waiting, eyes laser. That girl is mad as hell. She's hollering, you want me to be a groupie? I researched groupies on the internet. They're sluts. They sleep with the band. But Dewey objects, calling them cheerleaders. Speaking of cheerleaders, if you haven't already, watch the video essay I did on the original Bring It On and prove to me that you can do a front handspring, step out, round off, back handspring, step out, round off, back handspring, full twisting layout. Summer threatens to tell her mother, who is a room parent, and that's when Dewey pulls yet another trick out his ass. It's kind of a talent, the way that he can improvise, He tells her that he made a special position just for her.
And it's the most important job of all, band manager.
Businesswoman. Dewey's gonna be busy rocking out, and it's up to Summer to keep these hoes in line. Today's lesson is about expanding the structure of this band, and what's the first thing you do when you want to start one? You talk about your influences, so you can figure out what kind of band you want to be. He starts asking everybody who they listen to, and Marta raises her hand answering,
Christina Aguilera.
Who?
not too much on my girl X-Tina. Dewey turns to Leonard for another answer.
Puff Daddy.
Wrong.
Oh boy, that did not age well, did it? Dewey stresses that he's talking about rock. Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Motorhead. Why would this be me if I was Dewey? But instead of us making a rock band and performing, it would be a film class and we would try to be making like a short film to get in a festival or something. David Lynch, Wong Kar-wai, John Singleton, Spike Lee, Dario Argento, Wes Craven! Since summer's the class fact Tater taught, he tells her to go to the board and write the schedule. 8:15 to 10 o'clock, rock history. 10 to 11, rock appreciation and theory. And then band practice till the end of the day. Freddie asks what songs they're gonna play, and Dude tells him don't worry about that because, you know, he's got some fly material.
Let's hear it.
Oh. Another testament to Jack Black's comedic acting and star power. He sets the tone about this dark stage with a beam of light, where we see him and his guitar going into a song, and it's called The Legend of the Rent. It's so camp, you know? It's in this heart he knew the artist must be true, but the legend of the rent was way past due. Clearly making this shit up in his head, but you know, I'll give it to him. It comes together. At lunch, Alani and Michelle tell Dewey they came up with a nickname.
The Bumblebees?
Girl. Dewey calls it Sissy, so then they pitch
The Koala Bears.
Girl. When Principal Mullins comes by, he excuses the girls.
How about Pig Rectum?
Michelle.
Dewey pitches the idea of a field trip at the end of the month, and Ross tells him that substitutes don't organize field trips. Bro's really trying to press this field trip, and she's trying to tell him, you know, there are safety protocols, procedures, we got to notify the parents. There's a lot that goes into this. After a day of practice, Dewey hands all the kids a CD as homework. Tamika's the last person to leave and reveals she doesn't want to be a roadie. So Dewey asks, all right, well, you want to be security?
I want to be a singer.
All right now, okay. He tells her to sing something, and at first she's radio silence, but burst into one of my favorite Aretha Franklin songs of all time, Chain of Fools. Chain, 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 hey, chain, chain, chain.
You told me to leave you alone. My doctor said, take it easy.
Anyway, yeah, Tamika, you in, baby, you ate that down, you in. Dewey's got a pep in his step every morning now, telling his roomies he's off to work. And after arriving at the prep joint, he catches Zach being reprimanded by his father, who's telling his spawn to play his music after his chores. And not until then. Zach want to be gangster though and turn around shaking his head, so Dad grabs him, telling Z, do not walk away from me when I'm talking to you. It's very rude. Guitar comes after homework and chores. No more rock music.
Watch that attitude.
And finally, we see an attempt from our characters to soundproof the classroom. But baby, what about the vents? You know, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go because at least, and they said this too in the commentary, I believe. This was kind of them saying, we're showing you that there is an attempt to cover the sound, no matter how illogical it might be. Dewey tells the churn they're doing great and he'd give these gangsters an A if he could, but that's not what rock is about. Do you know what rock is about? Frankie.
Scoring chicks?
Oh, that's not, no. Eleni?
Getting wasted.
Jesus Christ. Leonard's the one to give the right answer, which is sticking it to the man. Right on, brother. Dewey tries an exercise asking who's got the guts to tell him off. Freddie yells, shut the hell up, Schneebly. Alicia snaps, get out of here, stupid ass. And Summer tries, per usual, her best, calling Mr. S a joke. The worst teacher she's ever had. We all almost there. We gonna work on that, okay? Yeah.
You're a fat loser and you have body odor.
Oh, since everybody's nice and pissed off, it's time to write a rock song. There's a point where Dewey tries to pick Zach's brain to make him feel better, and he succeeded. Because during lunch, Zach Attack comes up the dewdrop telling the homie that was a really cool lesson. Oh shit now, look at all the other teachers. They're whispering like, wow, impressive. This midpoint movie montage, it's awesome. Bonzo Goes to Bitburg by Ramon starts playing. Bonzo goes to Bitburg, then goes out for a cup of tea. Pick up the pieces. We see this very elaborate diagram of the subgenre genres of rock music and its origins, love the devil hand stick. Do shows Freddie drummer tricks of having an extra pair of sticks in the back of his shirt. We see the background singers practice. Do teaches Katie how to make a pouty face. The band logo is finally made. Concert tapes of the greats are played. Billy's designing outfits. Summer's reading The Business of Music. Zach's at home practicing with his acoustic guitar. Lawrence is taught to add some spice to his playing. Damn, bro, even pulled out the projector. Again, this would look, this would be me. You know, instead of rock concerts, I would be playing them horror films. There's the scene in Bad Teacher, which is one of my favorite comedies, and I nearly covered it this month to go with this whole school theme I had going on, but I felt like that movie felt more appropriate in a raunchy comedy month, if I ever get to that. Anyway, Cameron Diaz plays a substitute teacher, and one day she's showing her class the first Scream movie instead of teaching them. You know, I get her. I do. Freddie's walking with Katie in the hallway being a misogynist, dismissively telling her to name 2 great chick drummers, and Katie name drops Sheila E. and Megan White.
She can't drum. She's a better drummer than you. At least she has rhythm.
Ate his ass up, okay? Rosalie walks by asking Freddie what the hell he did to his sleeves and what have you done to your hair, boy? He's like, it's called punk. And she pulls his sleeve down, telling this punk it's not school uniform. But the kid just puts it back when walking away. She walks all the way into the teacher's lounge, letting the faculty know parents' night is coming up and she expects everyone to have a presentation. Chat GPT can't help you with this one, Dewey, okay? Dewdrop sits with some of the teachers asking if Roz is always like this, and they laugh very sarcastically. She pretty much is. Except, you know, the time she got drunk at the alumni dinner. They tell Dewey Roz got up on the table and did a Stevie Nicks impersonation. Another day, we see Leonard outside by a tree on a walkie-talkie telling the team the coast is clear. This grown-ass man is sneaking half of his classroom out to go ride in his van. The other half of the kids are in the classroom listening to a pre-recorded vid of Dewey on an iMac. Now, what if Rosalie wanted to check in? They even managed to get into the school cameras, and Frankie watches Mullins as she passes their room. Dewey takes his performance to a theater called The Palace, where the Battle of the Bands auditions are being held. 2 men try to start something with the kids, so white boy with an eye, Fred, tells him to f*** off. Sunglasses says, oh my bad, I thought this was Battle of the Bands, not the Mickey Mouse Club. Fred jumps up like, bro, do you want a piece of me? There's another sweet moment between Dewey and Tamika when she pulls him aside saying she doesn't think she can sing. But Dew says Marta and Alicia don't have the soul that she's got. I agree. Tamika's afraid people are gonna laugh at her for being fat, and the homies gotta tell her straight up, talent is talent. Aretha Franklin is a big lady, but when she gets on stage, she blows people's minds. He also tells her, you know, your homeboy Mr. S has a weight problem.
But once I get up on stage, start doing my thing, people worship me because I'm sexy and chubby, man.
She asks why doesn't he just go on a diet, and Dewey says, because I like to eat. Real. He successfully persuades her to go through with the audition, but upon returning, Freddie's gone, and Summer reveals some guys invited Fred out to their van. Their what? Dewey's screaming, running out, finding Freddie by a burnt orange van, hanging with the same guys from earlier, cigarettes in their mouth, playing cards. This little motherfucker think he grown. I would hate to get all morbid in the middle of a comedy film, but I found out when writing this that Kevin Alexander Clark, who plays Freddie, died in a bicycle accident in Chicago on May 26, 2021. R.I.P. to the homie. Dewey tells Little Kruger he better get his scrawny ass out this van right now. When the band enters the auditorium, a woman tells Mountain Dew the auditions are over. Showrunner says their bill is full and they're overbooked, laughing when seeing all the kids as the band, asking if this is some sort of joke or gimmick. Props to Dewey for trying. You know, he threw a chair out of anger, which was improvised, telling the guy to shut up, sit down, and listen, but they call security. All is not lost though, because businesswoman Summer has an idea. Dewey waits for Sheila and her boss to come out of the venue, apologizing and telling them he's gonna take the kids back to the hospital. Oh my god, he tells this whole lie about volunteering. He's like, yeah, I volunteered down at St. Margarita's in the children's wing. Mountain Dew promised the kids if they practiced, they'd get into the Battle of the Bands because he wanted to give them something to look forward to. We see all the churn sitting by the van as Dewey tells the boss that they're terminal. Look at Freddie. Look at Freddie laid out on the fucking, it's so fucking stupid. All the kids wanted to do before they bit the dust was play Battle of the Bands, you know. When the man asks what kind of cancer the kids have,
It's a rare blood disease. Stickatotomonneosis.
they get in. Another day in class, Eleni and Michelle tell Dewey they finally came up with the name for the band, School of Rock. Not much celebrating can happen though, because Mullins makes her way down the hall towards the class and everybody rushes to put the instruments away. Rosalie says Miss Lemons reported music coming from their classroom.
Uh-oh. You know what? Miss Lemons must be on crack, right, kids?
Unfortunately, she sees Dewey's guitar asking, well, what's that, Slim Thug? And as he's been doing the entire film, our protagonist improvises, telling the HBIC he finds it helpful for the kids, to learn through singing song. Right. So Roz sticks around to, see this method.
So get off your ass, let's do some math.
We learn Dewey's officially extending his stay, and after Rosalie gives her gratitude, she can't help but bring up his highly unusual teaching methods. He's like, well, I did study with Dr. Earl von Strassenberger. Roz tells him to just stick to the curriculum and turns to leave, but Dewey asks if she'd like to have some coffee so she can tell him more about her philosophy on teaching. Cut to a bar where there is, in fact, no coffee, just beer. Roz tells Ned that she's been dying to ask him something.
Please, call me Dewey.
Or? He cleans it up by saying that's his middle name. So then Roz asks, how does Horace Green compare to other schools that he's taught at? And Dewey feeds her exactly what she wants to hear. I love Joan Cusack. If you're not good with faces and actors and all that, she played Debbie Adams in Addams Family Values.
I was a ballerina. Graceful. Delicate.
I've also done a video essay about that character because I love her that much. You can just sense the awkwardness with her and the little nugget we got earlier in the film that she's got this crazy wild side. Liking rock music, getting drunk at dinner. You're just like, you're waiting for her to let loose. Dewey leaves the table, approaching the jukebox, and we see her blow into her glass as if she's drinking a hot coffee. As he should, Dewdrop puts on Edge of 17, and Rosalie lights up, admitting her love for everyone's favorite rock witch. She's like, Stevie just came into town, and she was so wild. Oh my God. Very slickly, Dew says he'd like to take the kids to a classical concert. And through this, she's singing, saying if it's educational, there could be an exception. Look at her. On the way back to school, Dewey's singing his scammy heart out because he's getting what he wants.
Good time!
Could you stop that, please?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, this is the first time a teacher has ever asked her to do something outside of school. She's telling homeboy, I wasn't always like this. There was a time where I was fun. I was funny. I was. But you can't be funny and be the principal of a prep school because these parents have no sense of humor. And if anything goes wrong, it's her head in the smasher. Dewey, why are you looking at her like this? She is opening up to you. Roz says she can't make a mistake and she's got to be perfect. I love any scene with Joan Cusack acting in it, but in this film, this is a great scene because it's giving her character more. She's letting this guard down, telling you why she is the way she is. She says that pressure turned me into the one thing that I never wanted to be. But Dewey tells Mama he thinks she's pretty cool. While doing checkoffs on all the instruments and supplies with Summer, Dewey turns his head in distraction, hearing a guitar riff from Zach, who wrote a song. He performs the first bars with lyrics before Dewey yells at everyone to get in positions, helping Zach change a few lyrics, guiding the background singers on ideas.
And if you wanna be the teacher's pet, baby, you just better forget it.
I smell a hit on the Billboard Hot 100, y'all. It's the evening before Battle of the Bands, and Dewey's telling these rockers, no late parties, out drinking tequila, and trying to get lucky. He's proud of everything these dudes have given, so tomorrow let's just show these suckers what we got. After dismissal, Dewey runs to Rosalie, reminding her about the concert. Sis forgot about it, and now it's a different story, complaining school policy's difficult to get around, there's not enough time, bro. I don't know anything about this, where is it? Dewey says, Mommy, I've got it all covered. What's going on? Are you mad at me? But she clarifies, no, Ned, my coochie's just tight because it's parent night. Wait, that was a bar. He tells her it's all gonna be fine, and Roz nervously asks him if he would mind coming with her to parents' night. Not like a date or anything. Yeah, it's just something about you, Dewey, Makes me feel relaxed. At first, he reveals that he wasn't even planning on going. Trifling, like what? But comes around and will pick her up at 6:40. While Dewey's getting dressed for the conference, Ned opens a check with his name on it from Horace Green Prep for $1,200. Uh-oh. He picks up the phone to call the school, but Dewey runs and pokes the hang up button, and our protagonist finally confesses to his BFF that, I've been pretending to be you. Silly me, you know. I don't know, man. It was just spur of the moment. You know, I needed some money, needed some shmoney, and yapping an entire monologue of nonsensical babbling, ending it with asking Nettie to give him one day, and Poppy will come clean. Look at Ned's face, like. Patty comes on home, smelling the fuckery in the air, floating in that living room after Dewey's gone.
What's going on, Ned?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's a chicken Caesar rap, buddy. Dew and Roz roll up to the school and our protagonist starts saying that, you know, I can't do this. I'm not a teacher. She's like, oh, Ned, a substitute as a teacher? Girl, that's no. When we cut in this parent-teacher meeting, oh my God, Dewey's telling the parents, you know, we do a lot of things, math, English, science, naming every category in the curriculum. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, it's all been covered, trust me. It's so funny. He ends it saying, anyway, it was great to meet y'all. Y'all drive safe. I'll holla. Zach's father says ever since Dewey started teaching here, all his son talks about is music, asking if this is his influence. Because now, Z-Dog wants to be a musician when he grows up. Is this your influence, Mr. Schneebly? Summer's mother asks why has her daughter become obsessed with David Geffen. Lawrence's father holds up a CD asking how is this homework? We are in some deep doo-doo. The Fuzz appear in the hallway staring, and slowly the kids start bringing up this mystery project. Oh, Patty's here. She gonna get this nigga locked up, y'all. She gonna get him. Dewey tells the parents he's gotten to know their kids the past few weeks, and they're awesome. Zach's the next Hendrix, and he's only 10. Summer's gonna be the first president of the USA. Gordon is a genius. He did a whole professional light show on his computer in 3 days. Ned comes up looking nervy right before a cop steps in the room asking for Dewey. When the parents ask what's going on, the cop reveals that man is not Ned Schneebly.
This man is Ned Schneebly.
Yeah, he's not even a teacher.
You called the cops?
She did. She got it out of me. Sorry.
You're apologizing to him?
Sorry.
Roz pokes her head asking, Dewdrop, is this true? Who are you? Our protagonist reveals his government name, Dewey Finn, telling the parents that he has been touched by their kids.
And I'm pretty sure I've touched them.
I don't even know how the hell he got past everybody, but we cut and see him running down the hall with his guitars. Parents are in the far distance after him, but then we cut to the apartment where he's just chilling out, eating cereal, you know? So did he not get in trouble or arrested for this? Well, I mean, I'm sure his best friend was like, you know, I don't want to press charges. Patty starts going off saying it's one thing to throw your life away, but to put Ned Bigby's career in jeopardy is so selfish. Dewey's arguing, you know, you're the one who said I'm supposed to be more like Ned. And she's like, yeah, nigga, I said be like Ned. I didn't say be Ned. Bigby gets in the middle of their scream fest, yelling for them to both shut the f up. So Mountain Dew takes the opportunity to actually apologize to his BFF. Nettie tells his abuser, you know, it wasn't easy for him to give up music, but he did it because he just couldn't keep kidding himself anymore. Maybe they just weren't that good. Sometimes you gotta know when to quit, bro. Bigby doesn't know what his homie's gonna do, but says he thinks it's time. Bro moved out. The next day, the kids are in the classroom waiting for their parents, who are in Rosalie's office, trying to come to terms that they never really knew who this guy was. And he wanted them to play a show for him just so he can make a few dollars, right? Up, ain't it? Summer says, I can't believe we weren't getting graded on this. Girl, this is not the time. Freddie tells her to stop bitching. Lawrence calls him an idiot. So Kruger gets up saying, hey, you wanna go, bro? So Mama Tamika's gotta jump in saying if Frederick touches Lawrence, she'll shove those drumsticks down his throat. Come on, character growth. She's like, Mr. S was cool, and we worked too long and too hard to not play the show.
I said we get out of here and play the damn show.
I know that's right. Like, who gonna stop me? All the teachers are in Rosalie's office yelling at Mullen, saying, how could she let some imposter work here? Bitch, I pay 15 bands a year. This is preposterous. Homegirl Rosie's trying to defend herself, but they can't even get a word out. They don't care. Meanwhile, all the kids are making their own moves and somehow persuade a bus driver to take them all the way to Dewey's house to pick them up for this concert. One of the teachers comes to the classroom seeing it empty just when and Rosalie excuses herself because she's overwhelmed and goes out in the hallway, walking into the corner of the stairwell. So real. I know, mama, just take a second. Freddy is kicking Dewey's mattress like, get your big ass up. Wait, how did they get in the apartment?
Front door was open.
And how did they know where he lived? I'm gonna let it go. I don't care. I love this movie. I'm gonna let it go. Dewdrop is confusion, but Lawrence says that they did what he told them to. We stuck it to the man. He peeks out the window where the whole class is by the school bus telling him to bring his ass on.
That is so punk rock.
Punk rock, let's go.
Patty and Ned come walking down the hall, seeing these kids roll out with Dewey, who says they got a show to do. And while Ned's peeking out the window curious, Patty starts dialing on the phone. Snitch. The criminal tries to give a speech on the bus to formally apologize that he used them and it's not cool to lie to your band. You know what I'm saying? So word, I just, But Summer's like, nigga, come on, there's no time for apologies. Let's go. Ned tells mommy he's gonna go to the show, asking if she wanna roll with him. We know the answer to that. Patty starts complaining about everything Dewey's ever done to Ned, asking her soft boyfriend, when will he
Finally gonna start sticking up for yourself.
Rosalie comes back into her office, calm and collected, telling the parents,
all of your children are missing. So
right when the School of Rock arrive, they're told they're next. And currently no vacancy is playing. Oh lord, look at this crowd, child. Even on the top level. And what the hell is Spider wearing? Dewey tells them not to listen to those homos and does a check with everyone, saying they've only got one shot, so they should perform Zach's song. Summer points out they haven't practiced Zach's song as much as Dewey's and might not win. But we didn't come here to win, okay kids? Low-key manifestation right there. Watch. I keep telling y'all, watch will come out your mouth. We came here to play a kick-ass show and everybody rocks the best on Zach's song. So they all put their hands in the middle and pray to the god of rock for the power to kick ass. Zach says if they perform his song, then he wants Dewey to be the lead vocal. Gordon's stressing out because all the lights and cues he had preset in the system are all for the original song. So Dewdrop tells Big Dog he's gonna have to feel it and improvise. Billy hands Dew a big brown bag, which is his performing uniform. Rosalie and all the teachers come bum rushing into the venue and the front man is like, whoa, slow down, old man. They're trying to tell him their kids are in there, there's some maniac, and bro is like, yeah. Okay, yeah, I don't give a fuck about none of that. So y'all can go over there, get a ticket, and then come back and come holla. So that's exactly what they do. Rushing through the crowd, going straight to the front. Just as Dewey steps on the mic, all he says is, "We are the School of Rock," and this song was written by Zach Mooneyham. Oh, y'all have no idea how bad I just want to show you so many parts of this performance, but that damn copyright is gonna kick my ass. I'm gonna already have to pray and fight with it. Every video I make, I have to be very, very careful. What a song. Jack Black on this lead vocal, the costumes. Lawrence has this ethnic ass haircut with the tie and the red cloak. Everybody's got dashes of camp everywhere. Katie's in her 90s wild rock and roll bust down. Zach has all these patches and stickers on his shirt, plus a top hat with a scarf around it. And don't get me started on these divas. Alicia probably has my favorite look of the three, but I really do love all of them individually. Billy needs a raise. Give him an A for styling these. He did that. Love the patterns and arrangement on Tamika's outfit. Marta's got these suspenders, holding the skirt with some dramatic pigtails. Dewey finally gets his solo moment, and right at the end, Tamika hops on the mic with the You know I was on the honor roll. Got good grades and got no soul. Raise my hand before I can my mind. I've been biting my tongue too many times. Gordon's doing this thing, improvising the lights. Marco pulls out the dry ice smoke. Lawrence has his keyboard moment. The rest of the band are jamming in the back with their sunglasses, and Dewey gives spoken word, okay? Before Zach drops to the flow, doing his first ever solo. Oh, I love a full circle moment. That's really just one of the many things that makes this all come together. At the end of the song, the whole crowd is cheering. All the parents are laughing. Roz comes backstage hollering and hugging Dewey that the show was incredible. Dewey's like, wait, man, you not mad? Oh no, she is furious and she is horrified. But that was so good. Like the lights, the production, the instruments, These managers of the other performing bands are talking with the event boss, asking who the School of Rock's manager is. And y'all already know what it is. Give it up for Miss Summer Hathaway. Spider comes up to Roz asking if she's in a band. And she says, no, Mr. Skinny, I'm the principal of a school.
it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yes,
It is cool.
It is very cool.
I like that.
Do you? Yes.
Yeah, you're hot.
What? I'm sorry.
What?
Are you warm?
The presenter comes on the mic to say the winner of this year's Battle of the Bands, which is...
No! Vacancy!
We are going to pretend we didn't hear that.
Yawn. Dewey is mad as hell. He is backstage yelling, you know, it was a beauty contest. They weren't even listening to the music. All the parents and concert goers, hey look, everybody is confused at this point. The people and the judges are on two different wavelengths. No Vacancy is presented a $20,000 check right as the crowd starts chanting School of Rock.
School of Rock, bitch! School of Rock, huh?
Dewey's on this couch about to crash out because they lost. Bro, hold on. I gotta sit up for this. Motherfucker, you've been preaching this whole goddamn movie about how, you know, everything's not about winning, and you know, we just gonna play this show, we gonna have a good time. It's not about the crown, it's not about the shmoney, it's not about nothing. Why am I sitting here judging him like I wouldn't be mad either? I mean, the band that you started and then the members kicked you out won this check. Yeah, I would have been pissed too, I ain't gonna lie. I'm about to burn this bitch down. I think I need to lie down. They start to hear the chanting of School of Rock louder and louder, realizing it's an encore. So every single band member, including people who aren't performing, come out on stage, and Dewey tells the crowd they will play one more song for them. Love Jack Black's vocal on that last song. He fucking ate that. It's a Long Way to the Top continues playing as we cut to another day where Summer's dropped off on the phone with some bomb saying she'll get back to them as soon as she's discussed her endeavors with the band. She's like, if you're so desperate, then quit lowballing us. We pan up on the sign and see the School of Rock after school program, which all takes place inside Dewey's apartment. It's so cute. Across the room, Ned is doing a junior music class for these younger kids. I guess he finally dumped Patty, y'all. The rest of this closer is the whole band playing in Dewey's apartment, and I believe it's all improvised. It's quite a nice touch to end off this feel-good film. Logic and realism aside, what a fun-ass movie. I don't think about Jack Black too often, but no, that's not a dig, by the way. But when I do, this is the immediate movie that comes to mind. This is his most popular role, isn't it? It's gotta be. I learned something that I never would have caught on my own had it not been for, you know, looking up trivia and whatnot. And that's, I'll say this, it's not that significant, but it's just a little detail. During the course of the story, Jack Black switches the part in his hair from left to right, depending on whether he's being Dewey or playing Ned. It can go right past your eyes. The movie presents a sharp contrast between Horace Green's prestige education and Dewey Finn's rock education. So what's the idea? Traditional education focuses on standardized success. Think getting good grades, having an impressive resume, being well disciplined. Something that nearly, and I'm not gonna say all because a lot of people neglect their children. Every child will be constantly reminded of. But Dewey focuses on self-actualization. From day one of him teaching class, he starts to shake the stiffness. Do whatever you want, go out, have recess. Sure, he presses and teaches them rock music as a means for his own personal gain, but he also teaches them how to find their own voice in a world that wants these kids to be quiet. The entire scene where Dewey sings the Step Off song is a great example of this. He calls on numerous kids to vent about things that piss them off. No allowance, chores, bullies. And when he gets to Zach asking what would he say to these big bullies, which can be looked at as all the adults, specifically his father, Zach replies, "Step off." Step off! Step off! Through all of their practices, Dewey shows the kids how to be loosey-goosey and not be so stern as they were trained to be. There are little moments where he helps them with their confidence. Lawrence approaches Dewey in the cafeteria during lunch, saying he's not cool enough to be in a band. And Dewey's telling homeboy, you know, when you're out there rocking on the piano, you're gonna be the bee's knees. You're gonna be the most popular guy in school. During the auditions, Tamika pulls him aside because of her nerves due to her weight, and he sympathizes because he also has weight issues. use. He tells Tamika her voice will get her far, so screw what everybody else has to say. After the step-off scene during lunch, Zach came by the teacher's table and thanked Dewey for the cool lesson. And right before that classroom scene, remember Dewey caught Zach's father reprimanding him in the parking lot for playing too much guitar and not focusing hard enough on his homework and his chores. Although this is something he pulled out of his ass, it fits in line with the character of Summer when he made her band manager. The girl was already headed down that path. Okay, Summer, I said it many times and I'm gonna keep saying that Summer is a businesswoman. All of these things go into this big stick it to the man energy that's felt throughout the film. What is it? What does it mean? Dewey said the man is in the White House, down the hall, talking about Miss Mullins. But I wouldn't say it's just a person, it's also a collective energy. A system. For the kids, the man is their overbearing parents and the school's high-pressure environment. For Dewey, it's the commercialization of music and his own failure with no vacancy. He teaches rock and roll as an outlet. The genre serves as a cathartic tool for rebellion against whatever is stifling the individual. And to Dewey, it's his lifeline. I have to say, I do love that unlike many inspirational teacher movies, think about Dead Poets Society, Dangerous Minds, Freedom Writers, Dewdrop isn't a refined mentor coming to save unfortunate kids. By societal standards, this guy is seen as a loser. He's a freeloader, childish, deceptive. And you know what? The kids save Dewey as much as he saves them. They provide the structure and professionalism he lacked, while he provides the spirit they've been denied. It's a symbiotic relationship, not a one-way street of wisdom. Summer is the main one. She's the child to constantly remind him of responsibility, correcting him when he planted her part of the groupies, which were sluts, as she said on her internet research. To keep the respect of these little ones, Dewey must become reliable. He starts caring about their personal well-being. As I said, Tamika's confidence, Lawrence's coolness, and those pull him right out of his own self-orbiting bitterness. All the children prove that his musical ideas actually work, even when the adults around him, either personally or from afar, say he sucks and he's got no talent. The students validate him not just as a musician but as a leader, proving he has a talent worth sharing, taking his chaotic energy and turning it into a cohesive professional act. There is a social integration aspect. This man's a social outcast who sleeps on a tiny twin mattress on the floor with a curtain for a door. He has no community outside of his strained relationship with bestie Ned Bigby, who he mooches off of. And the School of Rock becomes Dewey's first real community. He's not just their teacher, but part of a collective where everyone has a role: performer, security, costume design, whatever. When the parents and police confront Dewey during Parents' Night, the following day it's the kids who chase after him and bring him back, giving him a sense of belonging he never found in the real rock world. But the students aren't the only souls that Dewey has managed to touch throughout this film. Rosalie Mullins is the other one, and with that character, we have the inner child versus the adult burden. Ned's part of this too, but I just want to focus on Rosalie for a second. This is quite a tragic figure. She suppressed her love for Stevie Nicks and God knows what else to survive in a high-stakes job. She told Dewey after their bar visit that there was a time when she used to be fun. She was funny. She was. But the pressure of the board, the responsibilities of having a job like this, and mostly the parents of the students forced her into a shell. How sad. In the 2015 musical adaptation of School of Rock, the characters of Dewey and Rosalie are romantically involved, which I love. I mean, the film hints at it with not only Roz letting her guard down to Dewey in his car, but asking him to pick her up for Parents' Night because she says she feels safe around him. There was a romance there. Dewey probably reminds her of a version she used to be. Their romance was in the original script. Now, given, I'll be the first man to tell you a romantic interest is not necessary in every damn movie I watch, but here, it doesn't bother me here. Ned is another example of the adult burden. He was part of Maggot Death with Dewey, but became a working stiff, sucked into the gray void of adulthood. Got a girlfriend whom he believes may be his last if she leaves him. I don't have anything against Patty. I think that films, especially from this time period, love to paint tough women as villains. Women, period, for real, who know who they are, who are career driven. Why is that? Let's be honest, Ned he's a pushover. Nobody should go through what Ned Ned has been through with Dewey. You know, y'all are fucking grown. You should not be 30 mooching off of your best friend, family, but I don't even care if it was even family too. You know, it gets to a point. And listen, let me just say this. I'm not saying that at 30 years old, you should have, you know, everything figured out. You should have your shit together. Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. Not everyone will be self-established, self-assured, whatever. We've seen that story, but I really just don't know a better way to put this. It comes to a point. I can smell a freeloader a mile away. It's not cute. It's not attractive. Just stop. If that's you, then stop. Although Patty was a villain through the eyes of the man we're following the entire film, what she wanted was what's best for the man she's dating.
Ned, aren't you tired of letting people push you around?
Patty Cakes wanted Ned Bigby to untether himself from a leech, to kick him out, to stop entertaining someone who's acting like a 17-year-old trying to make it big. But ultimately, her character is just tossed to the side. Call me woke, I'm not a fan of how her character is handled. While you see an uptight bitch who doesn't know how to rock out or have fun, I see a career woman just trying to do what's best for her man. But you know what? She's a broken record telling Big B to leave Dewey. Like, girl, you should have left Ned, because not only are you levels hotter than him, that man is a lost cause. Okay, I don't know that lesson of the day, it gets to a point. Lesson of the day, it gets to a point. I do not want to sit up in here and say, oh, just because he's a substitute teacher, he's a temp, right? You know, he ain't shit. No. Let's not do that. But babe, you know, she's an assistant to the mayor. You can, literally what I'm about to say is contradicting what the I just said. I'm sorry. She can do better. You know what? I'm going to stick by it. She can do better. Out of every adult we meet, Dewey is the only one who refuses to grow up, which makes him the only one capable of connecting with the children's untapped potential. This is something that could have also been sprinkled in everything I had to say about Dewey and this self-actualization he brings to the kids. But the last thing I want to discuss that's a piece of the film's heart is the inclusion of the misfits. We already see that Dewey's one himself, an outlier. But all of this began when he started to come up with roles for the rest of the class who were not going to be rock stars. He made every kid feel special in their own right, and that's the brilliance of him as a teacher. No matter if it was accidental, he finds a place for everyone. Stylist, roadie, security, manager. It's a message about found family and how a community is stronger when every member's specific quirk is utilized for a common goal. I love films where the characters we've been following up until some big event that's been causing them anxiety don't win said competition in the end, because that's just how life is. Life is not a movie. Life is not a fairy tale. I just did a video on Bring It On, and that's a great example. It's not just a girly Chick-fil-A movie, you know, it's saying a lot. It's so excellent how Dewey gets pissed when No Vacancy wins, pouting on the couch, and Zach's telling him, bro, we played a kick-ass show, and Lawrence says one of my favorite lines.
Don't let the man get you down.
The last song they perform on stage takes us into the last scene of the film where they're practicing the same song called It's a Long Way to the Top. I mean, come on, symbolism, right? Dewey has a lot of work to do if he wants to make it to the top. I don't know if they ever considered doing a second one. I'm sure somebody came up to Jack Black and was like, oh my God, we need another one. Or Mike White, probably. I'm very specific when it comes to doing sequels where it takes place years and years later. But I've no doubt that if they ever did, I feel like they would make Dewey a really famous rock star. Like we'll probably skip ahead and, you know, he made it. Or honestly, he probably made it and maybe he's washed up now or something. So although the character of Dewey Finn is messy and self-centered in the beginning, one thing you can't say is that he's not skilled. Being the definition of a man-child and somehow talking your way into being a teacher at a very expensive and prestigious prep school is something that a lot of people can I do? The countless improvisations on the phone, in the classroom, rocking, at the auditions, during the math song, every conversation he's had with Roz. Guys, this is talent. This film works because it shows an arc, not just for our protagonist, but all of its supporting characters. Yes, Dewdrop's got many bad qualities, but it's all redeemed by his passion. You can fake a resume, but one thing you can't fake: soul. This magic man, as he refers to himself in the Long Way to the Top lyrics, didn't just teach these kids some music history, but gave them something no curriculum could ever provide: a reason to be loud. What are your thoughts on School of Rock from 2003? Drop your take down below. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I would love to have you. It would be my pleasure. Hit that like button, it helps me out a lot. And turn on the bell notification so you don't miss a new video. If you want to see the director's cut version of this video, head over to the Patreon and join the family. You get voting power, we're fully uncensored there, extended commentary, and you also get to see my videos 24 to 48 hours before they hit YouTube. In the meantime, my punk rockers, take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your spirit.